Hello, my friends. Hello. How are you this evening, this Wednesday, November 19th? What a ride, my friends, that we are on, that we find ourselves on. And it is quite unprecedented in human history for to see the level of things that we are seeing, and a level that we would not see under Democrat leadership. And like a charm, by the way, and you heard it here from day one, that the Epstein files would not be released right away at Trump's presidency, or Kash Patel's nomination as the FBI director, or Pam Bondi's nomination as the head of the Department of Justice. And I told you why. And it was not an outside comm. It was an inside comm from Q that said, we are saving Israel for last. Reason why not mentioned here a single time. because in all of the Q drops, Israel, aside from Rothschilds, which many people do not make the connection between the Rothschilds and Israel, even though Israel wouldn't exist without the Rothschilds and the Balfour Declaration. A lot of people do not make that connection. But what's very interesting is that Israel was not mentioned in a negative light in all of the 4,966 Q drops. And Q simply said, we're saving Israel for last. Now, Q would not have said that if Q was not aware of the problems with Israel. But what a lot of people don't understand is the demolition of the mainstream media by Q, by Trump, and that being the number one asset of the Khazarian mafia to control humanity is information. It's an information warfare that we find ourselves in. And then also, we did not. We saw Q and Trump actually demolishing the central bank system. And that's currently in effect as well. And that is the number two method in which the Khazarian mafia controls humanity. We could get into food. We could get into how they weaken our food. We could get into medicine, how they weaken us through medicine and pharmaceuticals and all that. Those are further evidence of the attack on humanity by these very nefarious characters. We continue to see this unfold. The Epstein files, I have said to you from day one, the reason they could not be released is because they will absolutely implicate Israel directly, because the Epstein and Maxwell were a honeypot for Mossad. So this is something that is very obvious to those in the know now, but not yet obvious to many of the people who still believe in the mainstream media. And so we see these things taking place, and we as Anons and patriots and really people that see the bigger picture here, it's easy for us to get caught up in the back and forth of the narrative and the trying to convince others and of what's happening. But what's really important is to see the big picture. And the big picture has been painted to us by the Q operation and by, and obviously President Trump included in that. And so we are seeing a much, much bigger picture here. So when President Trump said, are we still talking about this guy? I came on live that night. I showed you how many drops were on that particular day of when he said, spoke about Epstein. I believe it was July 8th. Let me double check that and bring that up for you. And this is what, yeah, I think it was July 8th. And here's what that looked like, my friends. Literally on the day that he said that in the cabinet meeting, he knew full well what the Q drops look like. And here's 3353, what happens when those who held positions of power and influence no longer pull the strings? What happens when blackmail no longer works? Do you become a liability? H, we believe that's Hillary, is greater than C, D, and I. C, D, and I believe D is D class. C might be classified. I might be intelligence, but unsure for certain. Most of H was HRC. But and then it reposted again. The storm has arrived. Just because the public is unaware of something does not mean nothing is happening. Mueller, H report necessary prior to Comey release. Okay, Comey is C. H report. D equals the start of the mass awakening. White House ABCs, state and foreign. ABCs are, of course, the ABC agencies, CIA, FBI, etc. Post D comes many eyes. When blackmail no longer holds due to loss of senior level key government positions and 11th hour testimony, those previously protected become prey. Hunters become the hunted. God wins. Now, not directly talking about Epstein because, but simply blackmail. Okay. But then, this reposted again, the same thing. Welcome back, Q. So good to see you. Are you returning publicly again? The time has come to re-enter the public domain. And then what do we see here? On July 8th, the day that Trump said, are we still talking about this guy? Here's Pedo Island. Here is the temple on Epstein Island. Normal question mark Q. And here's Bill Clinton on Epstein Lolita Express with Rachel Chandler. Epstein's plane. Who is she? Follow friends. Friends lead to others. Open source Q. Here's Epstein again. Why is he spending $29 million to bury the tunnels underneath his temple on Epstein Island? Okay. H again. Phones were allowed. These people were stupid. Okay. A picture of Bill Clinton and some others on Epstein Island. Let's see, we got the QCOM here, Hillary Clinton and Foundation Crimes Against Children. We've seen her connection to Epstein and Epstein Island. We just saw it. Excuse me. Panic in DC, FISA-gate, Guardians of the Pedophiles is 3368. Okay. That's what that looks like up close. Guardians of the Pedophiles. Okay. So again, on the day that Trump said this, the media, 90% owned by 6 corporations, is not to inform the public of truth using facts, but to con the public using falsehoods and opinion to paint a narrative that is designed to keep the sheep in line in order to maintain control and regain power. People awake and united ends their control. Brainwashing Q. I'll come back to this. Again, reposted. Sessions began the Epstein investigation. Epstein again. Okay. The wheels of justice turn slow. When that is revealed, those who doubted may see the light. The wheels of justice turn slow, but when they turn, they are powerful. 10 times speed now underway. We're back online. Pelosi attempted block. And we're going to see them in 30 days. Here's Sessions. More about that. Okay. Sometimes you need to take one for the team publicly before you're vindicated as a hero. Sessions will come out, and then we'll see the work by John Huber with those 550,000 sealed indictments, including, by the way, excuse me. Cheers, everybody. The Epstein indictments that I believe are already there, excuse me, and are being sealed, have been sealed. Flynn news coming. That's another post from that day. And talking about the CIA, the the placeholder. Here's Hillary again. Okay. Is the stage set for drop of HRC? Raw video. We have it all reread regarding stage. This alludes to the Frazzle Drip video. We must work together. We are only as strong as your voice. You must organize and be heard. This is why we keep you divided and in the dark. Weak. We are here to unite. I'm sorry, I left you hanging there. Provide truth. This was the Hillary when she was bobbing her head, right? We are here to unite and provide truth. Dark delight, evil surrounds us. We are fighting for you. Where we go on, we go. All the choice to know will be yours. End. And by the way, folks, anybody who discredits Q doesn't have a fucking solution to this problem, period. They are black pillars, and they're fucking depressing as hell. We're with you, Q+. That's Trump, okay? So, again, this is the post on the day he said that about Epstein. I showed you this that day for humanity, Q+, for God and country. That's Trump again, okay? Reposting that. And then we see Anderson Cooper's lovely mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, and her symbology over top their bed that she is lovingly with her children. One is dead. The other is Anderson Cooper, CIA, CNN. And they're burning a body. It looks like maybe even the body of Jesus in here. Here's a decapitated person. Here's two angels. Here's some really satanic looking creature. And then the cross and yeah. So the sun and the moon. Some really odd artwork, certainly. And so more on this child trafficking. Okay. Corruption in DC, the Bidens, my turn, sweet dreams, President Trump. U.S. taxpayers, Paris Accord, Red Cross, foreign aid, war scam. We found that out about the USAID and some of the Doge work. Maxine Waters, $4 million house. Nancy Pelosi, net worth. Joe Biden, son, brother, net worth, tens of millions. Clinton family, 200 million. Pre-election, less than $1 million. Obama family, 40 million. Pre-election, next less than $1 million. Disguised under book deals, those who take are offered more powerful positions within the party, controlled, drain the swamp. So this is another one about Tom Steyer, who's trying to take on President Trump. So this is something that is, quite obvious when you understand Q. And so what I said that night was that President Trump was going to get the Democrats and the media to beg, to fight for the Epstein release. And sure enough, it passed the House, passed the Senate. After President Trump said, yes, let's vote on this, release it all. Did a complete 180, which, by the way, was never a complete 180 unless you were, sucked into the psyop. Okay. So now within 30 days, we'll see this release. And let me take you to President Trump's Truth Social. And this was, hold on, something just loaded here. Okay, here it is. Okay. All right. So President Trump posted at 8:20 p.m. this evening. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats. I posted that the other day. Was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democrat figures such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times and was on that drop when he said what he said. Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard. He was the president of Harvard. Supposedly, he got a teaching position there. Or he spoke to the the students, and he said he was embarrassed by that association, but nothing about pedophilia, of course. Sleazebag political activist Reid Hoffman, who started Netflix, minority leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged as operating a pedophile ring. Hakeem Jeffries. Actually, his team sent a letter to Epstein asking for money. Democrat Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, who was literally texting Epstein during the Trump impeachment trial, and plays it off. Perhaps the truth, and many more, perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their associations with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed, because I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. As everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass this bill in the House and Senate, respectively. Because of this request, the votes were almost unanimous in favor of passage. The only one in the House that did not vote, that voted nay, was Clay Higgins, who claimed that he didn't like the way they were going to release it because it would expose more of the victims. At my direction, the Department of Justice has already turned over close to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. Okay, do not forget, the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page related to Democrat Epstein, nor did they even speak about him. And this is why President Trump has acted as he has to make these people think that he was in them, because only then would they, fight for their release. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republican Party, in order to try and distract from our amazing victories. Now, before I get into the amazing victories, I just want to say this. Years ago, when the WikiLeaks documents came out on Hillary Clinton, her emails and the DNC's emails, I said that this would be the downfall of the Clintons. I was wrong, because no one read them. And I later came out and said, yeah, I guess I expected people to actually read them. I expected the media to actually report on them, because it was out in the open. Instead, we got CNN saying that looking at them is illegal and that you have to listen to CNN to tell you what's in them. That was, what's his name? Cuomo. Cuomo said that. So how do you get the media to report on them? How do you get people to read them? You make them think somebody you hate is in them. And nobody has more TDS than the Democrats and the Mockingbird media. And so he has, exposed this situation and put it in a situation that people will actually pay attention to them. So this was and by the way, the hoax that he talked about, he even called the Epstein a hoax. Well, the hoax was them thinking that Trump was implicated as a pedophile in the Epstein files, and that is not the case. So they did this in order to try to distract from our amazing victories, including the great, big, beautiful tax cut bill, strong borders, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, lowering prices, biggest tax and regulation cuts in history, ending 8 wars, rebuilding our military, knocking out Iran's nuclear capability, getting trillions of dollars invested in the USA. To this date, I think it's 20 trillion at this point. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of jobs. That's a lot of new restaurants. That's a lot of new clothing stores. That's a lot of new infrastructure to support a lot more people getting jobs and a lot more money being put into the system. Because remember, $20 trillion, countries and businesses are not going to invest $20 trillion unless they're going to make probably $120 trillion from that money. Okay. They're looking for return on investment. This isn't just $20 trillion coming into the market. Even if it was 10 trillion, it would be amazing. But understand that money is investment money into creating tens of trillions of dollars more. Okay. Increases our GDP. And also, by the way, why President Trump said in January he will be opening a new office in the government called the External Revenue Service. I believe it's ERS, External Revenue Service. I'll go to that post as well. For years, and even delivering, creating the hottest country anywhere in the world, and even delivering a huge defeat to the Democrats on the recent shutdown disaster. For years, our great nation has had to endure Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 impeachment hoax 1, impeachment hoax 2, and many other Democrat-created witch hunts and scams, all of which have been so terrible and divisive for our country and have been done to confuse, deflect, and distract from the great job that Republicans and the Trump administration are doing. This latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats just as all the rest have. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. I mean, folks, this is a beautiful thing, without question. And it's a very, very exciting time that these files are being released in the way that they are. And man, oh man, all of it was necessary. The kayfabe with what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene, with the calling these a hoax, all of this has been unbelievable. And this was Representative Chip Roy. Let me pull this up for you.
Confirm whether what I'm about to say is correct, that it was in fact President Trump's administration in 2019 that federally indicted Epstein in July of 2019, that it was in fact the Trump administration, the first term, that was going after Maxwell and set the stage for her indictment, that it was in fact the Trump administration, along with the Oversight Committee led by Republicans, that have released tens of thousands of pages of documents this year via the appropriate path of subpoena and making sure that more information is public. And then in fact, as the gentlelady from Wyoming noted, in a hearing that I was sitting in right next door in Oversight, where I was questioning Michael Cohen, literally while I personally was questioning Michael Cohen, we had a Democratic member of that committee that was texting in real time with already convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Is that correct? I yield back.
You are absolutely correct. I've watched the video. With that, I yield back.
Confirm whether what I'm about to say is correct, that it was in fact President Trump's administration.
Yeah. So why didn't Biden and his administration, why didn't they investigate this? Right. So this is and instead of looking at this, really interesting how the media is playing this out and how this, we're watching this unfold in an amazing way right now. So let me talk about this. President Trump called a reporter. He said, "Quiet piggy," to this female reporter. He also demolished the ABC reporter when she asked a question in front of Mohammed bin Salman about the Epstein files. ABC, by the way, which was the company that sat on the Epstein story, so that because they were wanting to gain favor with Prince Andrew and the royal family, and also with the Clintons, they had them dead to rights. They had a whole story on Epstein, and ABC, which is owned by Disney, ended up holding on to that story, and we didn't hear about that until a hot mic with Project Veritas. So years later, how many children were trafficked during that time that ABC was sitting on that story? So let me take you to this, and here we go.
You got to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan chase.
Sir,
Yeah,
if
Jennifer,
there's
go
nothing
ahead, go ahead.
incriminating in the file, sir, why not
Quiet,
take his
quiet. You got to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton.
Quiet, piggy, because she was interrupting another question. Now, here's the thing. If President Trump said that to my daughter or somebody I loved, he'd get fucking knocked out, and Secret Service would be all over me. But they're making it like that. That's the way they're making it. So everybody should be enraged because he's talking to a woman like this. But here's the thing. He's not talking to a woman. He's talking to a CIA operative. She works for Bloomberg, and Operation Mockingbird is still in play and is still in effect. Okay. And I'll take you to, okay, let me have that in another, here, let me take you to this. Let me play this for you. This is what you're going to see here is the Church Commission of 1975, and the CIA director, William Colby, was, let me take you to this. Here we go.
Real concern that planted stories intended to serve a national purpose abroad came home and were circulated here and believed here, because this would mean that the CIA could manipulate the news in the United States by channeling it through some foreign country. Now, we're looking at that very carefully.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
At CBS, we had been contacted by the CIA. As a matter of fact, by the time I became the head of the whole news and public affairs operation in 1954, ships had been established, and I was told about them and asked if I'd carry on with them.
We have quite a lot of detailed information, and we will evaluate it, and we will include any evidence of wrongdoing or any evidence of impropriety in our final report and make recommendations.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the national news services, AP and UPI?
Well, again, I think we're getting into the kind of detail, Mr. Chairman, that I'd prefer to handle in executive session.
Senator, do you think that you named the news organizations in your final report?
That remains to be decided.
I think it was entirely in order for our correspondents at that time to make use of CIA agent chiefs of station and other members of the executive staff of CIA as sources of information which were useful in their assessments of world conditions.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations of the period of the 1970s, it seems to me that a reporter's got to be much more circumspect in doing it now, or he runs the risk of at least being looked at with considerable disfavor by the public. I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
Let me take you to Benny Johnson's interview with Tulsi Gabbard.
Here's my question to Tulsi. The media being used as a propaganda mechanism, we saw it flatly. I mean, I think it's the smoking gun, quite frankly, of the Obamagate narrative and the Russiagate narrative, that it was so baked in that the New York Times and Washington Post went and ran with it. Some would say that that's part of Operation Mockingbird. Some would say that that's part of what we learned in the Church Committee, that the intel agencies were using media outlets as their mouthpieces, and that those mouthpieces would parrot the official narrative. And I wanted to ask you, is this operation still going on? Are you aware of the intel agencies working directly with media outlets in order to push prescribed narratives that may or may not be true?
It's something that we've already had to deal with, Benny, within this administration, where there are people within the intelligence community who believe that their will is more important than the will of the American people, and will weaponize intelligence by leaking it to their friends within the mainstream media with the intent of undermining President Trump's agenda. It is not one that he hasn't already talked about in every rally and town hall that he did throughout the campaign. I don't even know how many there were, but President Trump is enacting the very thing he promised the American people he would do in this election. So people in the intelligence community, they may agree, they may disagree. That's not the point here. As intelligence professionals, as people who work in the national security space, in the intelligence community, they are required to fulfill their mandate to their oath to the Constitution of the United States, and to the President of the United States, who was duly elected by the American people. Those who leak intelligence to their friends in the mainstream media with the intent of undermining the president who was elected by the American people, none of these intelligence professionals were. They are subverting the will of the people and therefore undermining the Constitution.
Subverting the will of the American people and undermining the Constitution. My friends, this is without question, this is from the CIA reading room right here. And you can like download the PDF, and basically it's kind of hard to read in this, but I'll try to blow it up a little bit. But who speaks and acts for this country abroad, the State Department or the Central Intelligence Agency, when information is distributed overseas? Is it truthful? The questions are raised by the disclosure last spring of the CIA's covert propaganda operation abroad, and Secretary of State Henry Kissinger's comments last week about that operation. Kissinger was questioned about the issue during his appearance at the annual meeting of the National Conference of Editorial Writers. Here's the exchanger question. The Church Committee reported that the U.S. has an extensive covert propaganda operation abroad. This involves having hundreds of foreign journalists on the U.S. payroll and the planting of false and misleading information, some of which unavoidably is picked up and published in this country. Would you tell us why you think such covert propaganda activity is desirable and whether you would consider having it discontinued? Kissinger said, well, I don't believe that putting misleading information out as news is ever justifiable. Yeah, right. The problem arises that in many parts of the world, the media are dominated by or heavily influenced by foreign powers that are hostile to us and where some attempt is made to get our point of view across. But I would not accept this as saying that it is ever justified to put out misleading information. That's all they do. I would think that any information that is placed through any American governmental organization should be, let's see, it could be published here without misleading the American. It's hard to read this. Yeah. But what I was unable to find, and this is, by the way, this is Frank Church, who was a Democrat senator from Idaho. He was against the Vietnam War, and he was also, he exposed the heart attack gun, which the person doesn't know that they're, basically being killed. He exposed what I couldn't find the video of, and I've had a difficult time finding this, was that Colby was pressed on that topic. And he did answer. They said, how many agents do you have in U.S. media? And they, at the time, they said 400. He said that under oath in front of Congress. 400. Tulsi says it's still happening. It's still alive. When this all comes out, and Q has said that these reporters, these journalists, they're going to go to prison. When this comes out, when all this comes out, that what people have been watching and listening to all these years was influenced and controlled by the CIA, including the mainstream media, including music, including movies, including television. When that comes out, that this was all a brainwashing indoctrination, people are going to think about President Trump's reaction and his verbal abuse, if you will, of the mainstream media. And to me, I think they're going to think, wow, he wasn't harsh enough on them. Like, how would you answer somebody who is an absolute CIA agent, right? And this really opens up a whole can of worms with how he's dealing with the media and how important it is to expose them. And Q has mentioned that. Q has said, why is the president going after the news media? And here's a compilation put out by Ron Filipkowski, who is basically showing Trump insulting, berating, demeaning, and attacking female reporters over the last few months. He's anti-Trump because there's no mention of the fact that they're CIA agents.
Will you let me finish my sentence? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you. Quiet. Fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why
I don't go to war. Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second grade. What he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. Let me
Do it now.
It's not the question that I mind. It's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. Oh, fake news, CNN? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Wait till you hear this question.
Thank you, sir.
You should really say how great. Who are you with?
And the same to you, Mr. President.
No, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer you.
White House account to have it go out on that particular
Give me a
channel.
break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you? Who are you with?
Politico, Dasha Burns, sir.
Politico's gone bad. They've been so wrong about everything. Politico has been so wrong about everything. Let's get somebody else to ask some questions. Do you mind? Is that all right?
As a personal gift to you, why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
It's only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that. Well, I haven't heard that. You're telling me. Who are you with? Who are you with?
I'm with NBC News, sir.
Fake news. NBC. You're fake news. What a NBC's gone down the tubes along with most of the rest. I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump and
Medical professionals.
By the way, again, that was ABC, Disney ABC, that sat on, that wouldn't allow the release of the Epstein story. Oh my God. It has it been over 8 years now, 9 years? We've still never seen this story and how it connects to Prince Andrew and it connects to the Clintons. And that was revealed on a hot mic. That was ABC. That was this woman's, mandate, was to make Trump look bad and never own up to your own mistakes or your own failure to report on Epstein.
No, I said, no, not you. You're CNN, you're fake news. Go ahead. Proud, you, especially you, should be proud of those pilots, and you shouldn't be trying to demean them.
No,
Those pilots flew at great risk, a big chance that they'd never come back home and see their husbands or their wives. Let me just tell you, you and NBC, fake news, which is one of the worst, and CNN, New York Times, are all bad. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. You know what? You should be praising those people instead of who you with.
There's a split,
Fake news. Fortunately, nobody watches. Is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
Some of your supporters are wary of the U.S. getting involved in another foreign wall, and some believe that we should support.
Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN? No, I didn't know. I mean, I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question. One of the worst.
I'm the travel pool, but I'm with NBC News.
NBC fake news. NBC is one of the worst. What else do you have?
Some more files, is that the case?
Well, I don't want to talk about it because fake news like you're a terrible reporter, and fake news like you, they just keep bringing.
There you go. Again, when this comes out, when we actually see who was paying for this indoctrination that we have been exposed to, it's people are going to be like, wow, that's why Trump was talking to them the way he was. See, this is part of them again. And he did most of the most recent ones, those two with ABC and the Miss Piggy comment, those had to do with Epstein. So how many people hear that and say, oh, I can't wait till those Epstein files are released. We're going to find all the dirt on Trump and we're going to take him down. This is it. We're so excited. This is going to take Trump down. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Oh, again, the thumbs are like this when the soy boys make fists. Oh, we're so excited that Trump is finally, we're going to get him. We're going to take him down. No, No, you're not, folks, because he played you like a fiddle. He played you like a fiddle. The day he made everybody shit their pants and say, oh, he's trying to hide the Epstein files. There were like, what? How many did I pull up? 7, 8 posts on Epstein on that day? You know, Q, and he's Q plus, and he's even in that day with two posts as Q plus. I think he's got a handle on what the deltas are for the day that he came out and said, are we still talking about this guy, Epstein? My friends, they all got played. And by the way, these alternative, influencers, these alternative journalists that whose job it is to, draw in Trump supporters and then turn on him, did exactly that. And I am so grateful for this culling of the fake MAGA, the fake news media, alternative news media that obviously have an agenda that they're being paid for or are just fucking stupid. Either way, stop following them. If you're seeing them just completely blow this whole thing, you gotta question who you're listening to. So thank you for this culling of these frauds, because that's exactly what happened. Folks, I dropped the CIA Operation Mockingbird document. Let me pull this up for you to show you what is there. And it is a classified document that was approved for release in 2020. Okay, 1/14/2020 by President Trump. And you can read all about, Project Mockingbird. Okay. It's all here. You can read about as much of it as you want. And it's all the newsmen, the who was being controlled, the networks, the newspaper, et cetera, et cetera. And you can read all about it here, folks. It's pretty amazing. And by the way, again, Q told us about all this. Q gave us this information. Okay. The biggest drop in posts online. Okay. Q, the biggest information dissemination in the history of the world was Q, but Q's a LARP. If Q's a LARP, how do you explain the just sheer volumes of information that Q dropped the questions that led to the research that led to the reveal of so much of this information? It is truly next level. This was let me take you to this one. This is Plaskett. Where did that go? I just had that up for you. I just had it up and I lost it. How's everyone doing tonight? Happy Wednesday. I hope you're loving what you're seeing here, because the first thing that came out was this Plaskett thing, how she was literally texting Epstein during the congressional hearing on the impeachment of Donald John Trump. We're seeing that Hakeem Jeffries asked him for money after it was clear he was a pedophile. It's just, here it is. Here we go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Did I pull that over for you? Let me do that. Here we go.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have.
It's not one I would deem to have. Meanwhile, she's, as you know, she's the representative of the Virgin Islands, where Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita, orgy island is. Okay.
And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward.
I'm looking forward. I'm moving forward because I don't want people talking about the fact that I was being texted back and forth during that hearing.
And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward.
No, Stacey. Don't get us wrong. We're going to move forward. We're just going to move forward without your lying, cheating ass. That's what we're doing. Okay. So yeah, we'll move forward, but we're moving forward without you.
If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes. And as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward.
Yeah,
I'm moving forward.
I'm looking forward. I'm moving forward. How convenient, Stacey. Huh? How convenient for you that you're going to move forward and that you recommend the rest of us do as well. This is Donald Trump Jr.'s post. It's clear from all the emails that Jeffrey Epstein hated Trump, so much so that he was literally live texting Democrats on how to impeach him. If he had anything on Trump, he would have used it. But why was a convicted pedophile still in direct comms with Dems? Gotta ask yourself, folks, who's this going to expose more than anybody? It's uncanny. It's uncanny, the sheer level of absurdity, okay, that we're seeing from the Democrats, so much so that excuse me, that it's got to be a white hat script. But of course, I was talking to Kevin earlier today, and he said something like, these people are stupid. And I looked up "these people are stupid" in the Q drops, and this is what came up. These people are stupid. Here they go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. These people are stupid. 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 Okay? These people are stupid. It goes on and on and on. Q kept telling us this, folks. Okay? Watch the news. Leakers exposed. Saudi Arabia was strategic. This requires a deep cleaning. These people are stupid. Anti-fascist, anti-fascist, and anti-fascistisch from Germany. Okay, these people are stupid. Maxine's stupid. Okay, I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's just so unbelievable. And by the way, this was the only negative Israeli post. Why do they persecute me so? A Jew standing in the blood of Russian, Polish, Hungarian, Ukrainian blood. The chair serves the master, who is a master. P equals C. Why is Epstein spending $29 million to bury the tunnels underneath his temple on Epstein Island? Problem: phones were allowed in. These people are stupid. And by the way, underneath his temple instead of his temple, the missing H, in my opinion, here is Hillary. Okay. These people are stupid. And Kevin said something. I think Kevin said, wow, that's a lot of times. And I said, that's a lot of stupid people. So we had a good laugh over that. By the way, Half Truths, thank you for that. If anyone can donate to Dave's cause, please do so. I will when I get paid. I very much appreciate you. And folks, yes, please, lend your support. It is necessary to keep this ball rolling, this platform, this content. If you like this content, if this content is meaningful to you, please thumbs up, please share, please tag, please share in groups on Facebook and so forth. And please donate, because I cannot keep things going without your support. And nobody is supporting me like these, pro-Israel lobbyists that have Twitter accounts, and these Congress people, these Democrats that are violating, literally committing treason. I'm going to show you a video here that's going to knock your socks off here. If you haven't seen it already, check this out.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris Deluzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air
No one's former CIA. No one's former intelligence officer.
Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army,
or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
The reason why I have Stephen Miller up is because, hold on a sec, the reason I have Stephen Miller up is because he basically called them out. Let me see. He flat out said Democrat lawmakers are now openly calling for insurrection. Openly calling for insurrection. That, my friends, is treason. Without question, that is treason. Folks, get your name on the wheel this week. I'm going to be on tomorrow night. I'm going to be on tomorrow night's Thursday, and definitely Friday or Saturday, if not Friday and Saturday. I've got some really exciting things to share with you here coming up on a dive that Kevin and I did earlier today that I think is really fantastic. But this this is incredible to see how much the Democrats, and by the way, let me take you to Spiritual Street Fighter posted this earlier today. We are at the precipice, swamp, fighting back, remain calm. We are here for a reason. Patriots are in control. Okay. Now, you can either believe this, and whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter to me. Doesn't change my outlook on things. But you can either believe this, or what are you believing? Like, what else are you going to believe? That they're going to finally take Trump down, and they're going to finally say that his tariffs are illegal, and we're going to lose all our money, and we're not going to get dividends, and Trump's not going to create the External Revenue Service, and he's going to be impeached because of the Epstein. I mean, what are you thinking? Like, tell me, like, what's the plan going forward, and what's your solution to take down this satanic cabal that we know is running this world right now? I mean, without question, that's exactly what is happening. Okay. This is, and then this is the latest, by the way, on the Epstein files. And here's the thing. Once they saw that President Trump wanted them released, then they thought, holy shit, we did get played. So now the story is, I firmly believe Bondi and Patel have been working diligently and expeditiously over the past 6-7 months to scrub the Epstein files, documents, and images to remove Trump and his close associates. Krasenstein, the Trump DOJ is scrubbing the Epstein files of Republicans. Think they've had enough time to scrub the Epstein files? Trump needed time to scrub those files. They scrubbed the files, scrubbed the Epstein files, scrub. Folks, Morgan Freeman scrubbing. The files have been scrubbed. Where do you think they got that term? Okay, scrub. Okay, where do you think they got this term? These are talking points. Okay, this is Cenk Uygur. He's this, the Young Turks. This guy, what a piece of shit he is. There are two ways to look at Trump crumbling on Epstein files. He didn't crumble, dickwad. He knew from day one that you guys would beg for their release. He was responsive to his base, who was starting to think he was full of shit. Yeah, Trump makes decisions based on what people think of him. No. Or now that they had months to scrub the fuck out of those files, they don't mind releasing the rest. Interesting. Yeah. And yeah. So at any rate, I wanted to acknowledge where I got that from here. Hold on a second. Oh, shoot. Where did that go? Okay, here it is. 0 hour posted that. 0 hour 1 underscore. Maybe 2 underscores. It's like watching parrots. The orders have been handed out on X. I'm going to reshare that right now. Scrub. Interesting. They all are using the exact same word. Real original reporting. There we go. And I'm posting that on X, which you can also see on Snedheads. My friends, please join us over on Snedheads. This is the news feed over there. You're going to love it. Okay. This is Oh, Sean shared a Sir Censorlot inspired this song with this post. Interesting. Okay, I got to check that out. Oh, that was looks like Hawk's mustard seed. Looks like Hawk posted that as well. Thank you, Sean, for sharing that. I'm gonna have to check that out. Julie Larson posting about Epstein and Bitcoin. This is Caroline Munden posts. Muslim calling for Christians.
Why do you hope that? You hope he gets killed because you don't like him? What? That's, yeah, you hope he gets killed because you don't like him? Yeah? Is that what Muslims believe? Oh, well, you're a Muslim, right? And you believe it. Why? Do you think maybe it's a value problem? It seems that way. You're not representing your people very well right now. Yeah, so you want him dead because you don't like him. You want him dead because you don't like him. Yeah, right, yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Get away from me. How many people you gonna use it? 10,000. Yeah, suck my dick. Okay, I'm a liar. He just said he hopes Jake gets Charlie Kirk. You hope I get Charlie Kirk? Yeah. Say it again. Welcome to Dearborn, guys. Welcome to Dearborn.
Yeah, that's that's the very compassionate and the very compassionate left, right? And this is what let me see if I can get this to you quickly here. And it looks like basically he got Jake Lang got hit by somebody here, and he's, let me share this with you. He disrespected the Quran in Dearborn, Michigan, and was assaulted. Here, let me take you back to the beginning of this. That's Jake Lang. I met Jake. He was just released from the jail in D.C., and I met he and his father and his girlfriend that night when he was released, and I covered that live with you. Looks like he's basically just kind of banging on the Quran, and he's being assaulted for it. And of course, they're wishing death on him. Now, do I approve of that kind of behavior? No, because you're just inciting violence, right? But that's free speech, and everybody should be allowed to have that free speech. Hold on. Oh, by the way, I did not post this out tonight. So please share this out, and let me. I want to play this for you. This is, I think, a bit of bright news, and this was done by my friend Rob Cunningham, who I want to try to get on here in the next week or two. And I also want to get Oliver on. I'm going to see if he's available this maybe tomorrow or the weekend. But let me take you to this. This is it's really beautiful. It's just basically about the XRP and what's taking place with XRP right now. And I want to just play it for you. I think he did a beautiful job with it.
Every family has one turning point, one decision that changes the next 100 years. For this family, it began with 10,000 XRP. Ripple in XRP isn't hype. It's commodity like money. It's like gold in your hands, except faster, liquid, borderless, and immutable. And this father taught his family the most powerful lesson. We never sell the asset. We become the bank. 10 years later, XRP reaches $1,000. Their 10,000 XRP becomes $10 million in assets. No selling, just time, patience, and discipline. With a conservative 4% yield, the family now earns $400,000 per year or $33,000 per month, still owning every single token. They borrow against their XRP, never selling the asset, just as wealthy families do. A $1 million credit line at a low interest rate funds real estate, business creation, and opportunity for everyone under the family name. Now, fast forward 20 more years. XRP reaches $5,000. Their original 10,000 tokens, now worth $50 million. 4% yield alone produces $2 million per year. Free cash flow, enduring wealth, a legacy of strength. And they still never sold a single XRP because this family understood money changes, systems change, but principles don't. They taught their children how to own assets, how to borrow wisely, how to create instead of consume, how to think like a sovereign, not a servant. 3 generations blessed because one leader had the vision to plant seeds and wisdom to keep them. Leadership, vision, and patience changed the destiny of an entire family line.
So that's Rob Cunningham, who I've had on talking about crypto quite a bit, and I want to say, folks, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. This is Kraken. This is a Kraken account that I use to buy and sell crypto, and I'm putting this in the comments as well. And what you're gonna this is like, I won't, I don't sell any crypto or I don't make any money off this or anything like that. But what they do is they have a referral program. And so when you, I think it is, Moonbeam, if you wouldn't mind sharing this, I think if you go and sign up for an account and you deposit $200 within 30 days, and you buy crypto with that, which I recommend, by the way. Do your research. XRP is a great one. I think Stronghold's a great one. Kraken's the only one that has SHX on it, Stronghold. And that you can still get that for like under a penny. XRP is a little bit more. I think it went to maybe, I don't know where it's at. I'm not going to say anything. But if you just do $200 worth, even if you end up putting it back into cash, I believe you get $75 in your pocket, and I get $75 in my pocket. So if you're wanting to be introduced, Kraken has not had any breaches like Coinbase has. Kraken is very well respected, and I highly recommend it. It's been really easy for me to use, and you get $75. So I don't know anybody else that's offering that kind of, and you donate $75 to me by doing that. So please check that out. And Moonbeam's dropping that as well. And I think that's the thing. Yeah. So yeah, and you can change your family's destiny. I do believe what Rob is saying, because I do believe that we are on the verge of something really special. But I don't give any investment advice. You know that. You know, I've talked about gold and silver in the past, and look what's happened to that. Because I believe we're going off the Federal Reserve System, the central bank, which Q is made us aware of. President Trump has made us aware of. There's less money going into the bankers' pockets through the no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, Social Security, and the External Revenue Service is actually going to put money back in our pockets because they're already talking about the $2,000 dividend. So at any rate, I always try to find ways in which you can get free money. And it only requires, I believe, a $200. It'll tell you when you sign up, like how you can, what you need to do for this program. And I believe it's investing $200 into crypto. So, and it's a great way to kind of be introduced to it as well. So good stuff. Turple Nurple, uphold debit card and get 6% XRP rewards, DCA on everyday purchases. There's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, Kraken is a very good exchange as well. Yeah, you've been stacking silver. Good stuff. Good stuff. I've signed up but haven't funded yet. Yeah, you did mention that. But do you remember what they said you needed to do? Yeah. Yep. So yeah, please check that out, my friends. And that's a way that you can support this show and put $75 in your pocket. And folks, if you took that $75 and bought SHX at like less than a penny, that could be a big deal. That could be a big deal for you. Even, if you have a very, very little, but certainly don't invest something that you can't afford to lose, no matter what you're investing in. Yeah, so there you go. So I had taken you over to Snedheads, and I'm telling you folks, this is becoming more and more important that we get out of this system of control, this system of manipulation that they're doing, which is quite extensive in how they're controlling humanity. And it's very much something that we have to be aware of. The way in which they're collecting our information, the way in which they're manipulating our everyday actions, the way in which they're tracking us. Let me pin this to my profile, and then I'm also going to drop it in Snedheads as well. When you share something from X, it'll scroll down like this. When you click to embed, you click the upper right hand corner up here, right here, and you go down to embed post, and you click on that. That'll take you to this, and it'll scroll down real quick. I'm sorry, it'll take you to this, and it'll scroll down real quick. You just scroll back up, and you just copy and paste into Snedheads. And then you actually see the post pop up like this. You don't have a broken link or anything like that. So yeah, my friends, this is a great way. You've got Window to the World, which is a bunch of fantastic posts on X that you'll be able to. Let me see. I gotta do something here. Actually, let me play. Here's the. We'll move forward, Stacy, but without you. Let's see. Here we go. This is.
We have a very alarming story for you today. This comes out. It says, for this post on X in Germany, police raided the poster's home, seized his phone, took his biometrics, demanded his DNA, and warned that he's now under police surveillance. This was the post. No, every person who is financed by the state pays no net taxes. They live off taxes. Every civil servant, every politician, every employee in a state-owned company, everyone who is subsidized and financed by the state, not a single parasite pays any net taxes. We can't say we disagree with the fact that most politicians, most people working for the state do in fact behave like parasites, especially these days, not answering to their constituents and doing God knows what with our taxpayer money. But apparently that was a reason to turn this X post into a police raid at dawn. This comes to us from reclaimthenet.org. It says that the story starts with a tweet that barely registered on the internet. A few hundred views, a handful of likes, and the kind of blunt libertarian framing that is common on X every hour of every day. Yet in Germany, that tiny post triggered a 6 a.m. police raid, a forced phone handover, biometric collection, and a warning that the author was now under surveillance. The thing to understand is that this story, first reported by Germany outlet Apollo, only makes sense once you see the sequence of events in order. So let's go through those events. The story goes like this. A man in Germany, known publicly only as Damien N., posts a short comment on X calling government-funded workers parasites. The post is tiny. At the time that he was raided, it had roughly 100 views. Even now, it only has a few hundred. Despite the post's obscurity, police arrive at Damien's home at 6 a.m. He says they did not show him the warrant and did not leave documentation of what they seized. Police pressured him to unlock his phone, confiscated it, took photos, fingerprints, and other biometric data, and even requested a blood sample for DNA. One officer reportedly warned him to think about what you post in the future and said he is now under surveillance. The entire action was justified under Section 130 of the German Criminal Code, which is meant to prohibit inciting hatred against protected groups. So now people that work, that our tax dollars pay for, are protected groups. Well, they certainly behave.
Yeah, that's unbelievable what's happening there in hey, great. Somebody just signed up on Kraken. I'll see that later. Thank you guys for doing that. I think you're going to love it, and it's going to be good stuff. President Trump, spiritual street fighter, reposted President Trump here. Communist mayor of New York City, Zohran Kwame Mamdani, has asked for a meeting. We have agreed that this meeting will take place at the Oval Office on Friday, November 21st. Further details to follow. That's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. So that's a way, by the way, when you're on Snedheads, if you're not on X, you can see quite a bit on Snedheads, the window to the world. Okay, and you can see a lot of this stuff, and check it all out without ever going to X. You can also go to the X truth feeds, mine, Scavino's, President Trump. And if you want to just see President Trump's truth feed, it's just a couple clicks, and here he is with let's see, I don't know who this guy is. I saw something on that. I gotta look at that deeper. But there's the Epstein post. There's President Trump with Elon. because Elon posted on X, I just want to thank you, President Trump, for all the great work you're doing for the United States and the world. So that kayfabe has come back around. I think you'll see that also with Marjorie Taylor Greene down the road as well. This is a post that he reposted from the Federalist. If Trump has the power to ban trade, which every president does, then he has the power to moderate it through tariffs. Legal precedent, diplomatic equilibrium, and economic logic point in this same direction. The president can impose tariffs under IEEPA. Tariffs are the most flexible, peaceful, and effective policy instrument to regulate importation. That's the economic, diplomatic, and common sense context as the Supreme Court considers whether presidents have the authority to use tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. He also posted, tremendous atrocities are taking place in Sudan. It has become the most violent place on earth and likewise the single biggest humanitarian crisis. Food, doctors, and everything else are desperately needed. Arab leaders from all over the world, in particularly the highly respected Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who has just left the United States, have asked me to use the power and influence of the presidency to bring an immediate halt to what is taking place in Sudan. It is considered a great civilization and culture, unfortunately gone bad, but one that can be fixed with the cooperation and coordination of countries, including those in the region of tremendous wealth who want this to happen. We will work with Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and other Middle Eastern partners to get these atrocities to end, while at the same time stabilizing Sudan. Thank you for your attention in this matter. God bless the world. Something you don't necessarily hear all the time is we hear God bless the USA, God bless America. Rarely do we see God bless the world. Very, very cool. This is his post. Mark Levin, he still promotes Mark Levin, talking about the UN speech. And he's just reposting this, his greatest speech in the history of the UN. And that was, this was, I shared this the other day when he was showing Mohammed bin Salman the portraits of the presidents, and they stopped and they talked about the auto pen which President Trump has up of Joe Biden, which is absolutely just epic, absolutely epic. This is Jason Hang, I don't know how you pronounce it, but of NVIDIA, talking about
this last week was a historic week. We manufactured the most advanced AI chips in the world, in the most advanced fab in the world, here in America for the first time. All of this started with President Trump wanting to reindustrialize the United States. His tariffs was a pressing agent in making this possible at the speed that we're doing. And now, shortly after, less than a year, we're now manufacturing the most advanced chips for AI here in the United States. This is just the beginning of it. With the partnership of the supply chain in Taiwan, TSMC is an incredible partner, a strategic partner for the United States in bringing manufacturing of the most critical sector of technology here to the United States. This is just the starting point. After that, with Foxconn, and of course, Spill, Wistron, so many of our other partners, we're going to bring the entire supply chain of building AI infrastructure back here in the United States. By the end of the next 3 or 4 years, we'll probably manufacture, we're on target to manufacture about $500 billion of AI supercomputing technology to be installed here in the United States.
$500 billion. So he's reposting this and this picture of Jensen Huang, as I promised, production of Blackwell started. AI invented in America, made in America, built for America and the world. We are manufacturing in America because of President Trump, right? This was an article on in the New York Times. Academia is broken. Trump's university compact can help fix it. Last week, the Trump administration sent letters to a group of presidents of universities proposing a set of principles that has come to be known as the Compact for Academic Excellence in Higher Education. The purpose of the compact is to set forth the minimum standards of conduct and performance that institutions of higher education must meet to benefit from a relationship with the federal government. The compact is not yet final, remains subject to further input and discussion, including from campus leaders. So this is something, something, first of all, from the New York Times. I know it's an editorial, but the fact that they let it play is huge, and absolutely vital, because our universities are basically socialist institutions promoting this, and and it just needs to stop. And I believe that's what President Trump has in mind with what he's going to do with this. Let me take you to, this is, where did I put that? Is it here? This is the 4th Psychological Operations Group, Airborne, is with the 1st Special Forces Command Airborne. And they put out another Ghosts in the Machine video. Check this out. Actually, let me go straight to that, because we're going to have a better picture, I believe. Hold on. Oh, that's because it's on. Let me see if I can get a better copy of it. No. Here it is. This is a better copy.
Goddamn army.
There's another force applied in combat that we generally don't think of as a weapon of war. That weapon is words. Words are weapons.
Telling the truth is the only way in which to influence people.
This is psychological warfare.
How about that? And by the way, psychological warfare is real, but what we don't understand is that we've been under it for quite some time. Like, we've been exposed to it. We've been manipulated by it for a very, very long time. And it's taking a psychological operation to overturn it. Q is a psychological operation. Trump is a psychological operation. Is Q a psyop? Abso-fucking-lutely. But it's a psyop that is exposing the people that have held us under a psyop for our entire lives. That's the difference. That's the significance. That's why this is so very, very important. By the way, thanks to Joe Rambo for sharing that on X. And I've also got a interesting, hold on a second. Dr. Russell McGregor, who I share here from time to time. There's a reason President Trump met MBS on the day of the Epstein files were proceeding through the House and Senate. Zionists have threatened to tank the U.S. economy if the files are released. So Trump needed the $1 trillion Saudi Arabia investment promise to help with stabilization, which, by the way, they went from 600 billion up to $1 trillion in investment in the United States on the day that it was going to be released. That hold on one sec. Okay. Just wanted to post that montage of clips of Trump just destroying the mainstream media with a little post. Yeah. Oh, and here it is, by the way. This was, this is what I couldn't find earlier. This is Jake Lang, America Against Islamification. Okay. Wu-Tang is for Children posted that the J6 MAGA domestic terrorist Jake Lang was punched in the face today while leading his racist march in Dearborn, Michigan. Not a racist march, just like we're against the Islamification of our country. This country was built by Christian men on Christian principles. And the countries that Islamification is the norm are, they're not doing great. Look at that. So much for the First Amendment. Okay. So much for the First Amendment. Yeah, that's the violence. That's the violence of the left. That's the violence of these people that unfortunately are trying to change our country. And that's not okay. Not okay. This is 1.7 million fentanyl pills was just found in storage unit in Colorado. Okay, that's a lot of fentanyl. The Kennedy Center is getting back to Christmas. They're going to be doing several Christmas shows. That's exciting to see. And the Clintons still haven't appeared. They were subpoenaed and they still haven't appeared. So let's see what happens there. That's going to be interesting because they've got a problem. This is something that was pretty disturbing to see. Remember, Fauci was exposed for killing the beagles. Jay Bhattacharya just gave Big Pharma $24 billion for new beagle tests. 24 million, I'm sorry, for new beagle tests. Despite promises to end animal testing, over 400 beagle puppies will now face unimaginable suffering, all for experiments that RFK Jr. himself has called outdated, unnecessary, and cruel. This is horrible. Why won't this administration keep its promise? So get the word out on that and keep that from happening as best we can, because that's fucked up. And that kind of shit's got to stop. Just not cool at all. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to find something for you here. Well, just so you know, this was the color guard. This is what Mohammed bin Salman was welcomed with, because again, they're the first side of the triangle to fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
When you understand that Saudi Arabia was the first side of the triangle to fall, and that Trump and bin Salman have been working together ever since, along with Putin, Modi, and Xi, to take down this cabal. Look at what's happened to the royal family. Look what's happened to the DC swamp and how they're being exposed every single day. You know, folks, what's important to remember is just because it wasn't on our timeline, then it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And I've said that many, many times. We don't understand the strategy. We don't understand the timeline here. And that's a really, really important place to be. I'll give you an example. Timeline. Bondi said today that they will release the Epstein files within 30 days. Now, that's by law. She has to. The DOJ has to, because it was signed by President Trump. In 90 days, Kevin Rottello did the math on that and took it forward to the 19th of December. And the 19th of December lands on a Friday. He also took me to his post on X, which was here, let me pull him up. Mr. Sciatica, the biggest pain in your ass, reposting the show. Thank you, Kev. Scripps show. And this was the harvest crop has been prepared and soon will be delivered to the public for consumption. A higher loyalty. Why? Hunters become the hunted. Treason, sedition. How do you remove a liability? 6 o'clock can be dangerous. Family proud. Higher loyalty. Why is the Rothschilds? But also that this was a Delta just 3 days ago. But the 6 o'clock, that possibly that's a big Friday, because when those files are released, sorry, I meant to show you that. When those files are released, it's going to go directly to Mossad. It's going to go directly to Israel. And that is why I have said that President Trump has been delaying them. If you missed the beginning of the show, please go back and check it out. And you will be very, I think, glad to see how I covered the beginning of the show. But I also went to Dun and 30, and there wasn't. Here, let me take you to that. So that's 30 days, Dun and 30. A couple of them are about Flynn, but there's one about Parkland as being a distraction. Actors are acting fake. No power. Justice will be served to those playing the game. All guns are safe. Trust the plan. Free Flynn. Dun and 30. House clean. White House secured. Final stage. So, I believe what we're already seeing with Hakeem Jeffries asking for money from Epstein, with Stacey Plaskett texting Epstein in real time during the congressional hearings on Trump's impeachment, that we're going to start seeing the House being cleaned of these people because of their connection with Epstein. So definitely something to keep a lookout for that. Also, going to the deltas for December 19th. There are many deltas, over 30. Soros fund manager raped and beat Playboy models. Are we there yet? When does a bird sing? Heidi Fleiss, another honeypot, right? But there were many on that Delta. The missing children, showing all these missing children. 3,000 saved by the raids in Saudi Arabia alone. Worldwide lanes shut down, bottom to top. Haiti, Red Cross classified high priority. So this is, a lot of the child trafficking. Trump could use military to launch his own coup, warns former White House ethics lawyer. Roger that, Q said. Ops had success last night, ? Same day coincidence, only the beginning. The calm before the storm. The storm is a new Pizzagate, only worse. So this is all related to child trafficking and the swamp. So House of Cards, 12 deals rejected today alone. Panic in D.C. Trust Sessions. Enjoy the show. 19 original post operators now. Operators active. Operators in harm's way. POTUS awake. No sleep during op pray. Those are the operators that were posting on the Q board. So basically Q is saying here, and this is on the 19th, this is the Friday. Now we're all waiting for something big to happen on a Friday. So Kevin and I did this dive today, and here's the storm is the new Pizzagate, only worse. Okay. Let me share this with you. A new conspiracy theory called The Storm has taken the grimiest parts of the internet well by storm. Like Pizzagate, the Storm conspiracy features secret cabals, a child sex trafficking ring led in part by the satanic Democratic Party, and of course, countless logical leaps and paranoid assumptions that fail to hold up under the slightest fact-based scrutiny. However, unlike Pizzagate, the storm isn't focused on a single block of shops in D.C. or John Podesta's emails. It's much, much bigger than that. Okay, so that was that. And then on the same day, Newsweek comes out with Trump could use the military to launch his own coup, warns former White House ethics lawyer. So Q's basically given us a shout out to what's going down here. Okay. And again, this is on December 19th. This is back in 2017. But that day, or maybe the day before, actual 30 days should be not the 19th, but the 18th. So maybe this all could happen on the 19th, on that Friday. So something to definitely look out for. And I think definitely interesting to, make sure you're stocked up on popcorn. Okay, my friends. So let's see. So before I close out tonight, I want to thank everybody. I'm going to put the wheel up later, probably. We'll see how many donations, but tomorrow or Friday. And thank you for those that are, checking out this Kraken referral. You can actually get on and do it, and then you get $75 if you investing in crypto in the first month. That's all I see will be $75. I think if you do $200, I don't know how many I'm allowed to have, but it's definitely a good exchange for you to introduce yourself to crypto. I don't sell any crypto. I don't deal in any crypto, but I could get a referral fee. And if you want to support this show, please, you could find the donation link on Zelle or GiveSendGo, and also snedheads.com. You will find a post, and I'll also leave one in the chat, the link that you can go to directly. And I thank you for your support for this Truthcast. I will keep this rolling and stay on this wall for you and make sure that we see things coming. Let's see. Joy says, Dave, do you think we're going to get the famous tweet from Trump Q post 55? That's the, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. I absolutely think we are going to, because everything else that Q has said is, not everything, but so much of what Q has said is coming to fruition, or we think is going to come to fruition. So I wouldn't see why that would be any different. The question is it that Friday, right? So thank you for that question. Thanks. Interesting dates ahead, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. And the things that are happening, this external revenue service, this is really really important stuff. And please join us over on Snedheads, my friends. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you, it's really awesome, and we're not spying on you, not stealing your information, not selling your information. Folks, Snedheads is $17 a month, or you can do it for free as well. But $17 a month, and I want you to understand that we have to break the addiction to free, because you're getting Twitter for free. You're getting Facebook for free. You're getting Instagram for free. What you don't know is that they are making over $200 a year off of your personal, private content and your information, your habits, your where you travel, what you do. They're spying on you. They're watching you. They're listening to you. And I think what we're going to be doing is seeing quite a change from that norm, right? Quite a change. So thank you all for being here tonight. If I didn't get to your question, I'll do some more Q&A over the next couple of days. And yeah, we'll get to the bottom of this stuff, what's going on. And yeah. You know, next week, half of America is getting hit with a snowstorm. Coincidence? Okay. Yeah, it could be anything. Could be anything. Could be a snowstorm, could be a hurricane, it could be the solar storms that we've been seeing that shut down communication, the Cloudflare that was shut down for a bit as well. Although they said that was not an attack, that was just an internal error that they were responsible for, that they admitted to. That shut down X, and what else was shut down? X. I can't remember what else was shut down for the morning. 2 days ago, was it? Or was it yesterday morning? But thanks for being here, my friends. I am excited about what's happening, and I am calm as a cucumber. I'm not, getting batted back and forth. I'm not getting caught up in all this. I did want to mention to you, please check out Candace Owens. She just did some research on this Egyptian plane that was, my friend told me today, I think followed Erica 26 times where she went. Candace figured out where Erica was and where this Egyptian plane was, the one that was there on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And it only followed Charlie to like 10 locations, something like that. So I haven't seen that report, but please check out Candace Owens if you want to learn more about Charlie Kirk and this cover up. Now, while she and other people like her, that's why I want you to tag her, tag Ian Carroll, tag Ryan Matta, tag some of these people, because they're not Q. And so they think that Kash Patel is a traitor. They think Pam Bondi is a traitor. They think Donald Trump is, committing treason with Israel. And so they're not pro-Trump, and they think they know more about Israel and the absolute, control that they wield. They think that they know more than so many Anons, but the difference between them and Anons is that we know that Israel is going to fall. It just has to be done in a very strategic manner. Because remember, the three sides of the triangle: Saudi Arabia, which is why I showed you that color guard welcome for bin Salman, Soros, and Rothschilds. And these last two, Soros and Rothschilds, are being taken down. They're already finding the financing into Antifa, and they're also with the central bank. Trump's talking about getting rid of Powell. He's already got his successor worked out. He's going to shut down the Federal Reserve, folks. He's creating the External Revenue Service. Those are the final two sides of the triangle. Soros, who controls our media. And, Trump's calling out the media. Soros, who controls and Israel controls our media, and Antifa and BLM and all these insurrectionist activities. And then Rothschild created Israel with the Balfour Declaration and the land and the whole bit. And those are the final two sides of the triangle to fall, folks. So we're in a really, really interesting time in human history that we'll never see again. And the reason why it's being done in the way it is because we have to make sure we never see it again. Much love to you all. Special thanks to Quasi Pete and Moonbeam for holding down the fort and making everybody feel so welcome here in the Sned Shed. I am David Snedeker. It's been my honor to serve you for so many years, and I continue and will continue to do so. Much love to you, and good night. I'll see you tomorrow night, 8 Central Standard Time. Bye-bye.